On a Wednesday morning in October, a forensic insurance investigator named Jeffrey arrived at Christine's door, carrying 3 manila folders that would unravel her mother's past.
3 accidents. Identical pattern. And you are the beneficiary, Christine.
Beneficiary? On my mother's accidents? That can't be right.
He opened the first folder and began listing the 5 anomalies that connected the claims.
Identical witness language in every statement. Policy upgrades within the same week. And she always shopped for higher limits right before each incident.
My mother did this? It's not possible.
He slid the 2010 claim file across. A broken hip, a $42,000 payout, and a policy that had doubled the next week.
A broken hip, a car crash, a house fire, and every time the policy grew.
Jeffrey left his business card on the table. Forensic Insurance Unit, he said he'd be in touch. After he left, Christine sat alone with the 3 files. She didn't call her mother.
Start with the oldest. The basement stairs. 2010.
The claim file read, fall resulting in grade 3 hip fracture. Payout, $42,000. 1 week later, the policy doubled. In the dim light of the basement, she had slipped on the 3rd step. The ambulance came at 4:32 p.m.
A broken hip, and right after, she bought more insurance.
Then 2017, a rainy evening. A sedan wrapped around a pole, modest injuries but a $96,000 claim.
2 weeks before the crash, she had doubled her auto policy.
The 2024 fire, kitchen in flames. Susan found on the floor, coughing. The adjuster called it smoke inhalation.
She increased her homeowner's coverage 10 days before that fire. Jeffrey, the policy upgrades happened right before each incident. I am in. I'll cooperate, but my mother can't know.
Christine hung up, her heart pounding. She was now a secret weapon in a fraud investigation against her own family. 2 days later, Jeffrey returned with a thicker file and spread witness statements across the table.
I've compared the witness language from all 3 claims. They're nearly verbatim.
That doesn't sound like something Mom would naturally say.
He slid a policy document forward. In the beneficiary section, Christine saw her own name in unfamiliar handwriting.
She added my name. That means I was part of this from the start.
Later, a memory surfaced. Larry, her mother's longtime partner, once called her a good little insurance policy at a family dinner.
Larry. He's always controlled Mom's finances. Could he be behind all of this?
She recalled how Larry isolated her after the 2010 fall, telling her to let Susan rest. She was 14, and the distance never closed.
He kept us apart on purpose. Made me the beneficiary so it looked like a family decision.
Christine closed the file. She didn't have proof yet, but she knew now. Her mother wasn't the mastermind. There was someone else. That evening, the phone buzzed on Christine's kitchen table. Mom. She let it ring twice before picking up, steadying her voice.
Honey, I was thinking of making your favorite lasagna this Sunday. Are you bringing anyone?
Just me, Mom. That sounds perfect. I could use a home-cooked meal.
She felt her smile muscles ache with the effort.
Don't let her hear the tension. She can't know what I am investigating.
You sound tired. Been working late again? Larry says you push yourself too hard.
A little. You know how the fiscal year-end gets. Tell Larry thanks for worrying.
The ease of the lie was a cold knife in her gut, a reminder that deception was becoming a reflex.
I am lying to my own mother. But if Larry is behind this, I have to push through.
After she hung up, Christine stared at the claim files until the words blurred. There was no unseeing the pattern. She was in too deep to stop, and part of her didn't want to. Months later, Jeffrey met Christine at a diner with new evidence. His investigation had traced witnesses at insurance agencies.
3 separate agents recall Larry coming in before each incident, always asking about accident coverage. He did the shopping.
That confirms it. He's been running my mother like a bank account.
She remembered the joint accounts, the cards in his name, the way Susan had to ask for grocery money.
What else did the witnesses say?
1 agent remembered Larry joking that his wife was accident-prone. He laughed about it. That was after the fall.
The phrase cut through Christine like glass. Accident-prone. He had been selling this story for years.
We need his financial records. See if he benefited beyond the policy upgrades.
I'll subpoena the bank statements, but we need something more direct. A recording, a witness. Stay away from Larry.
Christine nodded, but every new detail sharpened her certainty. Larry had been the architect, and now they had to prove it. Christine drove to her mother's house without calling first, needing to see Susan's face when she asked about the past.
Christine? I wasn't expecting you. Is everything okay?
I was just in the neighborhood. Say, do you remember when you renewed your insurance right before the fall?
Why would you ask that? That was years ago.
She's shutting down. Larry's fingerprints are all over this.
I don't remember the details. Larry handles those things. Don't dig into old news, Christine.
Susan's voice cracked, and she quickly apologized, her gaze dropping to the floor. As she reached for her tea, Christine saw a fresh bruise on Susan's forearm, purple and unmistakable.
All those years, he kept us apart. Made me watch his control from the outside.
Christine didn't accuse her mother. She simply held her hand, understanding now that Susan was not the scheme's author, but its hostage. That evening, Jeffrey's name lit up her phone. He had found the signature evidence.
The upgrade requests from 2010, 2017, and 2024. They were signed by Larry, not Susan.
He sent a photo, the 2010 form, Larry's signature bold, the beneficiary line listing Christine's name.
He wrote my name himself. He planned for me to be the beneficiary before I was even 15.
A memory surfaced. Larry at Sunday dinner, patting her head. "You are a good daughter, Christine. You'll take care of your mom one day."
He wasn't praising me. He was designating me.
She recalled how after the 2010 fall, Larry barred her from visiting Susan for weeks, claiming she needed quiet.
Every step, every document, every isolation, it was all to make me a perfect, unquestioning beneficiary.
Christine's knuckles whitened on the phone. At last, she understood.
He raised me to be his payout. We need to end this.
A few days later, Susan called, her voice unsteady. Christine let it ring once, then pressed record on her phone, her heart hammering.
I couldn't stop thinking about our talk. Larry. He was so angry when I said the fire looked fake. He told me I'd ruin everything if I ever questioned him again.
What did he mean by ruin everything, Mom?
I don't know. He just gets so angry. I should never have mentioned it. Please don't tell him I told you.
This is enough to start. She's afraid of him.
Christine murmured something reassuring, but her fingers were ice cold. The call ended, and she saved the file under Mom, evidence. Later that night, she played the recording back in her dark living room. The fear in Susan's voice was unmistakable, and yet it was proof.
If she admitted that much, there's more. Larry has her trapped.
Christine locked the file and texted Jeffrey, "I have something. Meet me tomorrow." The net was tightening around Larry. The next morning, a heavy knock shook Christine's door. Through the peephole, Larry stood, his grin too wide, too casual.
"Hey there, Christine. Got a minute? Just wanted to check in, see how you are holding up."
Larry. Sure, come in. I was just about to head out.
He stepped inside, his eyes flickering across the apartment as if measuring each corner. Christine felt the weight of the recording in her pocket.
"Just passing through. Your mom mentioned you seemed stressed. Everything okay at work?"
Work's fine. Just the usual deadlines. You know how it goes?
"You haven't heard anything strange from the insurance company, have you? They keep sending mail, and I just wanted to make sure everything's sorted."
He's fishing. He knows something is wrong. Stay calm. Insurance? No. Haven't heard a thing. Why would I?
After he left, Christine's phone rang. Jeffrey's voice was urgent. "He came to your home? That's a threat. Do not let him in again." The next day, Jeffrey pulled up in a government sedan. Christine got in, and they drove to the state attorney general's office, neither speaking.
The assistant AG is on board. They'll grant Susan immunity, but she must give a full statement.
The office smelled of old paper. An assistant spread the files and the recording device on the table.
If this works, Mom walks free. But if Larry finds out before we're ready...
The assistant laid out the terms. Full immunity, no charges, if Susan cooperated fully.
What if she's too afraid to do it? He's been controlling her for years.
Christine signed the statement. Then she and Jeffrey shook hands, a quiet promise to see this through. On the ride back, Jeffrey's voice cut through the silence.
She needs to hear it from you. Once she understands, she can be free. She'll find the strength.
Christine watched the city blur past. The hardest conversation of her life was waiting. That evening, Jeffrey's name flashed on Christine's phone. His voice was tight. "I need you to hear something. Meet me at the old lot off Route 9.
This came from a wiretap. Larry met a man named Cage at a bar in Reno 3 weeks ago.
He pressed play. Static. Then Larry's voice, oily and too casual.
Make it look like a hiking fall. The policy will pay out 10 times if there's an accidental death.
Christine lurched, her hand flying to her mouth. The air left the car.
He's planning to kill her. This isn't fraud anymore.
We have to extract Susan tonight. No warning, no calls. He's already scouting trails.
I'll go with you. She'll be terrified.
Jeffrey nodded, his jaw tight. They drove into the night, the weight of a high-stakes extraction pressing down on them both. The miles ticked by. Somewhere, Larry was toasting his next score, unaware that his plan was about to unravel. They arrived at Susan's house past midnight. Jeffrey stayed by the door while Christine used her key, her heart in her throat.
Christine? What's wrong? Why are you here?
Mom, we don't have time. Larry is planning to kill you. We have a recording.
Number. He wouldn't. He loves me.
Christine played the muffled recording. The words hiking fall and accidental death filled the silent room. Susan broke.
The first fall. It was an accident. I tripped. But Larry saw the payout. After that, he made me do it. He said, "You'd suffer if I didn't." All those years, he controlled everything. I was so scared. I am sorry, Christine.
Mom, listen. The Attorney General will give you immunity. No charges, but you have to help us. It's the only way out.
Immunity? I'd be free? From him?
Susan clung to Christine, her voice a whisper. "I'll do it. I'll do anything." For the first time in 19 years, she chose herself over Larry. After Jeffrey stepped outside, Christine sat beside her mother on the worn sofa, their silence heavy with 19 years of unspoken wounds.
He said if I ever left, he'd make sure you were hurt, that he'd destroy everything you had. I believed him.
He threatened me? All those years and you never said a word? I thought you just didn't care.
I was too ashamed. After the fall, I tried to leave. He broke my arm and said next time it would be you.
Christine's hands trembled. The resentment she'd nursed for years crumbled into a raw, aching pity.
She wasn't weak. She was terrified. And I blamed her for surviving. I am so sorry, Mom. I should have seen it. I should have helped you.
Don't be sorry. Just help me end this. Please.
They held each other as the first gray light of dawn seeped through the curtains. In that quiet, Christine made a silent oath. Larry would pay for every bruise, every lie, every stolen year. Later that day, Susan, Christine, and Jeffrey entered the state attorney general's office, the same room where the deal would be sealed.
I am scared, but I won't let him win anymore.
An assistant reviewed the terms. Full immunity for testimony, no charges, witness protection if necessary. Susan's hand shook as she signed. Christine placed her own hand over hers, steadying the pen. Then came the wire. An officer clipped a small microphone under Susan's collar, hidden from view.
What if he finds it? He'll kill me.
It's undetectable. Stay calm. Stick to the script, and he won't suspect a thing.
We'll be listening the whole time. We won't let anything happen to you.
Jeffrey, Christine, and Susan shook hands, a pact sealed in silence. The undercover operation was now live. Somewhere out there, Larry still believed he was in control. But soon, his voice would be the evidence of his undoing. Susan returned to the house alone that evening. Larry was in the kitchen, already drinking, a map of hiking trails spread open on the counter.
There you are. Sit down. I want to go over Saturday's hike. We'll do it on Black Ridge. Nobody will find her for hours.
Black Ridge? Isn't that steep? What if she gets hurt before?
That's the point. She slips, hits her head. Accidental. Then we cash out. You just keep quiet, like always.
In the unmarked van outside, Christine pressed her headphones tighter, her knuckles white. Jeffrey monitored the levels.
He's describing killing her. He's going to push her off a ravine.
Stay calm, Christine. We need it all, on tape.
But what about Christine? She'll ask questions.
You'll handle her. You always do. Just remember what happens if you get brave.
Susan's voice barely shook. I understand. The recording light glowed green. Enough to bury him. The next morning, Larry sat on the couch, scrolling through Susan's call log, his face hardening with each entry.
Who's this number? You called yesterday. A blocked line. I don't recognize it.
It was a wrong number. I hung up immediately.
Larry's hand shot out, slapping the phone from her grip. It skittered across the tile, and he seized her wrist.
Don't lie to me. Who did you talk to? What did you tell them?
In her pocket, Susan's thumb found the speed dial she'd preset, the line connected to the van outside.
Please, Larry, I didn't tell anyone, I swear. I am loyal. You know that.
In the van, Christine lurched forward as Jeffrey grabbed the radio. This was the emergency signal.
He's spooked. We move the arrest to tomorrow at the casino. Susan, get out now. Say you need milk.
Susan stumbled out the back door, her heart hammering. She made it to the van and collapsed into Christine's waiting arms. They drove to a safe house. Jeffrey had arranged a single-floor rental tucked behind a row of cedars where no one would find them. Inside, the air was heavy with unshed tears.
I should have protected you from him. Instead, I let him shape your life. I am so sorry.
You were surviving, Mom, and now we're fighting back.
Susan's voice cracked. She reached for Christine's hand, her fingers cold and trembling.
All those lies. The money. I thought it was the only way to keep you safe.
She truly believed that. Carried that weight alone. We protect each other now. That's what matters.
They sat in the quiet of the small rental, hands clasped, the weight of 19 years of fear and guilt slowly lifting.
Tomorrow he pays, but tonight we heal.
The night was still, but in that stillness, they were no longer alone. The following afternoon, Larry sat at a slot machine in Laughlin, feeding coins, counting the prize money he thought was already his.
He's at machine 47. All units move in on my signal. Go.
This is it. After all these months.
As Larry collected his winnings, two agents in plain clothes materialized behind him, pulling his arms back in a swift motion.
What is this? I haven't done anything.
He fought, but the cuffs clicked tight. Then he saw her, Susan, standing 10 feet away beside an officer, her expression unreadable.
You set me up. You stupid, weak.
In the van, Christine let out a long, shaky breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. It was over. Larry was forced outside past slot machines and stunned patrons, the casino's neon glow reflecting off the handcuffs. Outside, police lights bathed the parking lot. The man who had plotted to kill for money became just another arrest. His empire of fear reduced to a squad car. Weeks later, in a wood-paneled courtroom, Susan took the witness stand, her back straight despite the tremor in her hands.
He said if I didn't help him, he'd make sure my daughter paid the price. I was a prisoner in my own life.
Christine watched from the gallery, her knuckles white on the wooden bench, as her mother's voice filled the silent room. Larry got 20 years for conspiracy to commit murder, plus fraud charges. The gavel fell with a finality that echoed. As the courtroom emptied, Susan and Christine met in the hallway, the weight of the verdict settling on their shoulders.
It's over. I feel like I can finally breathe.
We'll rebuild, Mom. One day at a time.
That evening, Christine wrote the first of many checks to help cover Susan's court-ordered restitution. She'd keep it a secret. The court file was closed, but the emotional file remained open. Therapy began, slow and painful. For the first time in her adult life, Susan looked toward a future not defined by Larry. The road ahead was steep, but she was finally walking it. 18 months passed. Susan took a seat in a community college classroom. At 58, her notebook open and her hands steady.
I never expected to be here, but I promised myself I'd finish what Larry took.
At graduation, her cap flew into the air. From the front row, Christine caught it, her smile breaking through tears. They met at a coffee shop the next week. laughing over old memories like they'd never been apart. Susan took a position at Hope Horizons, a nonprofit for domestic abuse survivors. Her nameplate read, Case Manager. Every month, an envelope with a handwritten restitution note arrived at the insurance claims department. Jeffrey retired from the forensic unit. At his party, he received a plaque, but his thoughts often drifted to the case. Weeks later, he walked into Hope Horizons as a new board member, unaware that Susan worked there. Susan hung her diploma above her desk. Each morning it reminded her of the life she had reclaimed. In Christine's ledger, a recurring entry read, Mom's Future. She never spoke of it. The annual gala for Hope Horizons filled the ballroom with candlelight and soft music. Jeffrey had organized it himself. Susan walked onto the small stage, the microphone trembling in her hand. The room fell silent.
2 years ago, I was a prisoner in my own home. Tonight, I stand free because someone refused to give up on me. My daughter, Christine, believed in me when I had forgotten how to believe in myself. Thank you.
Christine, seated at the front table, blinked rapidly to clear her vision. Jeffrey rose from his seat, plucked a white rose from the centerpiece.
For the woman who made all this possible.
A photographer drew them together. Susan, Christine, and Jeffrey stood shoulder to shoulder. The camera clicked, and the flash froze the moment. 3 survivors no longer defined by their past. In that ballroom under the chandeliers, the fraud was no longer the story. They were. The gala lights softened. Christine, Susan, and Jeffrey walked out into the cool night, arm in arm. No one spoke. Words weren't needed. Their shadows stretched long under the streetlights, merging briefly with each step. A decade of schemes, bruises, and lies had brought them to this single, untroubled moment. Somewhere behind them, a casino in Laughlin still blinked its neon promises, but the only wager that mattered now was the one they'd made on each other. Ahead, the road led to a house with a kitchen light still on. Through the window, Christine could see the familiar table where it all began. That table had held 3 claim files and a secret that nearly destroyed them. Now it held nothing but the promise of morning coffee, and that was more than enough.